We are live.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology and Department of Electronics and Telecommunication, I warmly welcome today's eminent speaker, Mr. Rajeev Kumar, our Honorable Principal, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh, all heads of the department, and my dear participants. For this 3-day faculty development program on academic transformation with secrets of empowerment. In last couple of days, we had a very interesting session by Mr. Nitin Shingne and by Professor Dr. Chaitanya Agrawal. Looking forward, today's another interesting session by Mr. Rajeev Kumar. I would like to introduce Rajeev Kumar sir very briefly. Sir is Chief Customer Officer at Appirino Incorporation, a Wipro company at London, UK. Prior to his current role, he was Global Head, Campus Hiring, Wipro Limited, and was responsible for hiring university graduates from countries across the world, including Australia, Brazil, China, India, Mexico, Romania, South Africa, Singapore, USA, and UK. Rajeev sir is founding member of Board of Trustee of Snehalaya, a non-profit organization that has been helping women, children affected by HIV, AIDS, poverty, violence, and trafficking for 3 decades. He is also a mentor of an socially enterprise Mahila Foundation and advises startup activities in technology. He is author of Defining Destinies, a non-fiction book about human trafficking. He was author of Defining Destinies, a non-fiction book about human trafficking. He was awarded by Indian Society for Technical Education for his contribution to the technical education in India. He is an MBA and MS from Boston University and an alumni of Scindia School. We are lucky to have such a versatile personality for today's session. We welcome you, sir. I would like to invite you to start your conversation with all dear participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And very excited to be here. Looking forward to having a good interaction in next 1 hour. As I was telling Honorable Principal that 3 years back, I was more engaged with universities and colleges in India when I was in my previous role at Wipro. In last 3 years, I have been very far away from universities. So in a way, it is good to be back in touch with academia. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to some of the professors. This is very core to my heart. And I hope that next 1 hour is meaningful for you and we all can take away some good learnings that I want to share with you. I will, can you see my screen? Yeah, okay. Can you see my screen? Kishore sir?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So let me. Now?
Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think as the topic is changing role of academia in the new world, I always like to share this uh, a very nice cartoon where we all know that things are changing, but we don't want to discuss about it. So we always, there is a saying like, there's, let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? So it's such a big thing, everywhere we are seeing it, but we need to now talk about it. So that's what this cartoon says. So just giving you a little bit of a context. So as you all know, India is the second largest pool of STEM talent in the world. And why I say STEM, you all know it is science, technology, engineering, maths. For all this, it is the second largest pool of talent. Now, obviously, we are not considering the younger generation which is in schools. If we consider them, then probably we become the largest. Um, the we have always seen that whenever disruptive technologies come in, they take away old jobs and they create new jobs. If you all remember in the 80s, when all the banks were getting computerized, people thought that all the jobs will go away. So what will people do? But they did not realize that it is going to create a new set of jobs. Only after later on we came to know that it can create so many new jobs. The Economic Forum says that 75 million jobs will go away as more and more companies shift to automation. If today you go to Maruti Udyog's factory near Gurgaon in Manesar, that factory has become one-tenth of the size what it used to be in early 90s. So many jobs have just gone away because they have pretty much made their entire manufacturing cycle automated. And this is going to be further automated in different industries we are going to see. So almost 75 million jobs will go away in the coming years. But 133 million new jobs will also emerge as new division of labor between people and machines happen. What does that mean? Today, a lot of work which people are doing will be done by machines. So there is a new division of labor that is going to happen in the years to come. And once that happens, there is a lot of jobs which is being done manually will be done by machines. But even then, there will be new jobs that will be created. For instance, today there is a very large number of openings in America for drone repair and maintenance people. Now, drone repair and maintenance was not a job a couple of years back. The number of digital jobs that are being created, it did not exist earlier. People did not think about user experience. People did not think about user interface because today every machine, every equipment is interfacing with human beings. And that interface needs to be made better and seamless. So, what does it do to academia? All these things, does it impact you? Have you thought about it? We always think that everything is going to impact to the students, but anything that impacts students also impacts faculty members. It impacts institutions and colleges. So many years back, I had created a model which I would like to discuss. But the last point I want to leave with you is pandemic is driving digitization. Look at it. Today we are talking. I'm sitting in London. You all are sitting in different parts of India. And we are having this virtual conference. It is pandemic which has forced us to do this. This is a very simple example that I'm sharing. If we look at organizations, if we look at companies, the kind of digitization that they are doing is just phenomenal. The direct to consumer interactions is increasing multifold. And companies like ours are helping organizations in their journey of digitization. And who is doing that? It is being done by your students who have graduated from colleges like yours in last couple of years. So every phenomena that is happening there is having an impact on you. So I want you all to be aware, and I want you all to discuss about this elephant in the room that we just talked about. So this is a model which I had created a few years back. Um, I had an opportunity to address around 180 engineering college owners in Tamil Nadu. I hope you know that Tamil Nadu has the largest number of engineering colleges in India. In those days, it used to be 490 colleges. And they had a private college owners consortium. And in one of their general body meeting, they had invited me. And they wanted to know future of engineering education. And I had used this model. It has changed a little bit. But if you look at, these are the five forces which is going to shape the education. It's funny that I wrote 2020 5 years back, not now, when I was presenting the slide. Today, we'll be focusing more on faculty, but I just wanted you to give a quick 2-minute rundown on what is the different components of these forces. So let's talk a little bit about students. Have you seen when you were as a student in colleges and the students that you have now, how different they are? Their behavior looks either very serious or it looks very non-serious. You'll find them to be extremely binary. It is either a 0 or a 1. They have very short span of attention. They want immediate gratification. They pick up technology very fast. Their adoption of technology is extremely fast. In your days and in our days, we used to have this concept of year-end assessment. Now you have the concept of continuous assessment, where the portions are smaller and shorter, and you keep doing it for multiple times. So in the technology world, which we call it as sprints. So you have small sprints in which you complete your curriculum and you do your exams and you move on. So very different behavior, very different chemistry amongst the students, if you see. Look at the curriculum. What do we need to do to be aligned to the industry? Today, your curriculum, which comes from the university, needs to be changed regularly. Or you need to have an autonomy to include subjects as optional subjects, which you can align it to the new trends and new technologies. Today, companies like IBM, companies like Pearson, all technology companies are coming with their own courses and own curriculum. Cross branch specialization, and we'll talk a lot about it in the faculties. This is one thing which you all have to think through. You need to provide subjects which will go beyond one department, and that's not your first year. The way you have to structure your programs is that a person should be allowed to take subjects. Every engineering student should be allowed to take programming subjects from computer science, because today every company has become a technology company. Is Uber a taxi company or is it a technology company? Is Airbnb a hoteling company or is it a technology company? Is Amazon a retail company or is it a technology company? Answer these questions, and you will realize that every company in the world is becoming a technology company. So it's very important that we allow our students to take subjects from these different courses. There is this Washington Accord, which India signed a couple of years back. It allows Indian programs and curriculum to be at par with the global programs. Quickly want to spend 1 minute on institutes. If you look at it, I must have visited at least 200 engineering colleges in India in those 3 years. And very soon I realized that it is not the infrastructure which is the differentiator in colleges. Because every college has built an infrastructure, a physical infrastructure. And some of the private colleges have built fantastic physical infrastructure. But I think what is going to be a differentiator is your virtual campus. I had said this 5 years back, and today it is so relevant when I look back. Today, your classes are happening virtual. So you need to see that, are your 10,000 students in a position to access education, faculty, and all your exams online? Do you have the technology? Do you have the infrastructure? The Uberization of engineering education. What does that mean? Uberization of engineering education means that you may not be running taxis, but you might be providing services of taxis. That's what Uber is all about. Similarly, you may be taking curriculum from different places. You may be having students coming from different places. You may be having your faculties coming from different spheres and walks of life. And you are just aggregating all of that together, and you are an institution. That is the future model of institution. The education is at the cusp of immense transformation, and this pandemic is only expediting that transformation. I cannot reinforce that more, and I want you all to be aware that we are moving very fast in transformation journey in the education field. The college dropouts will increase. There will be a lot of children who might just drop out of the college, and they might say, you know what, I don't care about a graduation degree. I'll just go and follow my heart. I'll just go and follow my passion. Colleges need to take care of schools. What do I mean by that? Your faculty members, your institution needs to think about the schools which are around you and needs to take up the responsibility of helping those teachers to come up to speed. 18 crore children today are in the Indian school system. Such a large population, 180 million children. America's population is 300 million. More than 50% of America's population goes to school in our country. What are you doing for them? Think about it. Industry has to play a very important role. If today I'm talking to you all, I feel that it is my responsibility to talk to you and provide you guidance and provide you inputs on this. The hire and train model, which industries were doing over a period of time, will go away. Now it is train. Industries want students to be trained in the colleges. They want to run your 8th semester, and so many companies have started using your 8th semester as their training ground. They want to train them, and then they want to hire them. This is a completely different model. You will see a lot of industry and college partnerships, developing center of excellence. We developed it with Adobe. You can develop it with Salesforce. There are different ways that you can forge this partnership. And don't just think about placements. You would be very parochial, and this is to all the professors who are in your college and who are listening to me. You would be very parochial and short-sighted if you just think about placements. You should think about engaging industry in the process of delivering education. Placements is a product. It is an end product. It is not everything in itself. Create or ask industries to create chairs in your colleges, as we have in the universities abroad. And industry will look towards academia to contribute in their research, in their innovation. The innovation boundaries, which used to be very close in industries, has now collapsed. Today, I'll give you an example of Wipro, my company. We have invested in 20 small startup companies. We have created a fund of $250 million to invest in startups. Why? Because we want to be part of that innovation. We feel that external innovation is very important. We have partnered with a university in Israel, Tel Aviv University, to be part of their innovation journey. That is where you have to attract industry. That is where the academia and industry partnership lies. Now let's spend time on faculty, because that is the topic for today's conversation. You will see a very interesting trend. As I told you, that there is disruption happening in industry. You will see that a lot of people from industry have started coming to colleges to teach. They want to become adjunct professor. AICT has made some changes in its norms to be able to assimilate industry people in academia. Do that. In teaching, earlier it was never thought that it is a hire and fire model. In the coming years, it will be like that. In America, very few people get tenureship. Tenureship is like being permanent. Harvard University has so many faculties whom they let go, or MIT, because they were not made permanent. They were not made tenured. There is a shortage of specialists. You think of becoming a specialist, or you think of hiring a specialist. Teaching is not just about teaching, it is also about research. Think about building research skills. Think about how you can do research. Your projects with your students should be directed towards research, and then you should be able to come out with papers. You need to look beyond teaching. Your 9 to 5 teaching will not take you long. You need to have these skills to be incorporated. Faculty development program, the initiative that you have done, right? It needs to be done collaboratively, where it is not just for your faculties, it is also for faculties of other colleges, other universities. International faculties, think about bringing them. They bring in a lot of fresh air of thinking. They bring a lot of diversity. So on each of these forces, you can think. This is just a framework that I want to give you. I want you all to have conversations. I want you all to have discussions about how these forces are evolving to be relevant or to drive the future of the country. 2030 will look very different. And for all these 5 forces, you need to think how it's going to evolve. Now, these are the skills that you have to teach. You must be wondering, I'm an electronics professor. Why should I worry about communication and storytelling? Why should I worry about negotiation and influencing? The matter of fact is that your products, your students need to learn this. And if they have to learn, they need to be taught. And if they have to be taught, who is going to teach them? They can't go back to their school. They can only go back to you. Continuous learning is applicable for your alumni, and it is also applicable for you. And we will talk about it in the next few slides. Collaboration. How many times, other than that one project, final year project you do as a group project, how many times you evaluate your students as a group? How many examinations are given as a group? Industry expects them to collaborate. Industry expects them to work together. Industry expects them to provide 5x result if they are a team of 5 people. Now, you cannot create a functional group, a efficient group, a high performing group if they do not know how to collaborate. Can you teach them? Does your teaching incorporate collaboration, problem solving, project management? Each of these top skills that you see out there should span across all your courses and all your programs. The way you teach brings out these skills. You may be teaching Java programming, you may be teaching Python, but in that and through that, you need to teach communication and storytelling to them. You need to teach them negotiation. Now, in order to teach all this, I will recommend you to sharpen your skills. Because when you joined your college, you were never expected to teach all this. You were expected to teach your subjects. These are important skills which will make your students successful. These are the skills which has been identified by NASSCOM, and the industry has created that this is the requirement that we have. Digital leadership. As I said, today no strategy of an organization can be made without having digital in it. Operational models are changing. Companies are transforming on the basis of adoption of technology. The line between IT and business has completely blurred. And that is because the digital is transforming the way we do business. So every student should be part of the digital skill set. And if every student has to be given the skill set, every faculty needs to be. It's not that just the computer science engineering professor needs to know computers. Every department of yours, I'm sure, knows it, but it has to know more because this is the common thing. These are the top 10 emerging technologies. I'm sure you have heard about it. But I do want to spend a little bit time on 3D printing because these technologies impact different industry verticals. Every industry vertical is getting impacted by cloud computing. Every industry vertical is getting impacted by big data. 3D printing is impacting health. 3D printing is talking about creating artificial organs. Artificial intelligence is talking about creating automated self-driving cars. These are the emerging technologies, and they are going to change the skills that are required for your students. And you need to be aware of that impact. Cybersecurity. Today, in this pandemic, what are we most worried about as a corporation? We are most worried about security breaches. The number of breaches that has happened in last 3 months has increased. Yesterday, we announced an acquisition of a company in Belgium. We have acquired a company called 4C. And you know what? Before we do anything, the first mandate is that we need to ensure that the endpoint security of their employees are in proper place. Because we feel that that is the first and prime important thing in this entire process of running an organization. This was never an issue 10 years back, 20 years back. Skills are required. Blockchain, a ledger of trust. The amount of work that is required there, people with those skills, is in demand. So if these technologies are changing the world, how are you changing? How are you getting impacted? You need to think through. One Harvard professor came out, he's the head of continuing education. He said that now there is something called 60 years of learning. Earlier people used to learn for 20 years, 25 years in their life, and they were fine. Now it is that till the age of 60, you have to keep learning. You have to learn, you have to unlearn, and then you have to relearn. And as you grow old, learning can become very stressful. Learning can be very, very emotionally draining for you. At the beginning of this call, you introduced me to the professor who teaches humanities. Humanities is so important in engineering education. You would never think of that. Resilience. Resilience is a skill. Can resilience be taught? When you look at your children, you'd feel that they are not resilient. They just give up. Probably our generation had seen more pains, had seen more downsides, had seen more sufferings, and that made us more resilient. How do we make our children more resilient? And that helps you in keep learning. Every 10 years, disruption is going to happen, and you have to keep learning. So this whole concept of very strong foundation is being challenged. Earlier, you used to think that if we give a strong foundation, a building will last for centuries. But today we need to create tents because the shape and the size of tent can be very easily changed. It's a very interesting concept. So you have to teach your students in such a way that they can fold their tent and they can again expand their tent, and you're not creating buildings which is going to be very static and which cannot be changed. A very different concept. Organizations are changing. What does it mean? And everything connects back with you. This is such a topic that I can probably engage with you for next 4 hours. But I just want to leave these glimpses with you. Earlier, organizations were built only for profit. Today, organizations need to have a purpose. If the organization doesn't have a purpose, people doesn't want to work for that organization. Organizations need to be more responsible. Earlier, it was all about profit and loss. Today, it is about social balance sheet. Corporate social responsibility will become important, and it will be more and more relevant in the coming years to come. Hierarchies will go away. The organizations are becoming flat, and it is a people of networks, and they take roles and responsibilities based on the skills and opportunity which is in front of them. Control versus empowering. Earlier, the information was only with some set of people. Today, it is with everyone. So instead of controlling them, you're empowering them to be able to use that information, how to make inferences out of that information, how to use that. Earlier, you used to create a plan, a 5-year plan, Panchvarshiya Yojana. Now it is about experimentation. You experiment with things, you create small plans, you create sprints, you create agility in the organizations, and you change. Privacy versus transparency. Earlier, it was that everything was very private. Today, being transparent is something about the organization culture. Trust is built on transparency. So this is just to give you a little bit of a flavor on organizations. And again, I tie it back to you. I tie it back to the academia, institutions, curriculum, and professors. So I think we are heading to a place where I wanted to discuss these few things with you. Have you thought of what is the difference between a puzzle and a mystery? Earlier, you used to solve puzzles. You used to help your students solve a puzzle. Government used to help its citizens solve a puzzle. Today we help solve mystery. What is the difference? The difference is that when you used to solve puzzle, the information did not exist. You had to go and find the information. You had to do research and infer an information. Today, information is all over the place. The problem is that it is just too much of information. Now, in this trillions of terabyte of information and data, you have to go and solve a mystery. So the same problem, should it be solved as a puzzle or should it be solved as a mystery? That approach needs to be thought through. In 2002, when America, the Twin Towers were bombed by Al Qaeda, the information was all around. There were enough information which said that there is going to be an attack. But they went on solving a puzzle and they could not avoid it. Had they solved the problem as a mystery problem, probably they would have averted that attack. There are so many examples which, if you put your lenses and think that, am I solving a puzzle or am I solving a mystery? The fundamental difference is that in mystery, you have information all around. You have to put all the information together. That's what detectives do. Detectives solve mysteries because that information is all around. In puzzles, the information may not be around. So teach your students to solve mysteries, not solve puzzles. Second top point is very important to my heart, and I want to spend a little bit time on this, giving feedback. When we were a student in the high school, the only feedback that we received from our teachers was a tick mark and a cross. And that's what we do to our students. When I was doing my MBA in Boston, I wrote 2 pages of a paper, and I got in return, my professor wrote 1.5 pages of feedback. Very well written, very well structured. The first half of the feedback was what all I have done well. It was so beautifully written. And the second half was that what I did not do well. Now, if you do not give good feedback to your students, and when I say good feedback, I mean to say elaborate feedback. I'm not saying that you have to give always a positive feedback. Elaborate feedback is very important. They don't get elaborate feedback. They do not know how to give feedback in the companies. Today, when we do performance appraisals, managers struggle to give feedback to their subordinates because they have not been wired or programmed to give feedback because they never received feedback. So my humble request to all the faculty members on this call is that if one thing that you can take away from this call, please take your time to give feedback. Giving feedback is an art. The more you practice, the better it becomes. Don't just give crosses and tick marks and just put a mathematical grade around it. It will help them. And it will help them to give feedbacks in their corporate journey. Build your writing skills. This is one particular skill which I have been personally a great fan of. When I was running hiring for Wipro, I used to say that writing skill is a non-trainable skill. Speaking skill is a trainable skill. Means you can teach someone how to speak well. It is very difficult to teach someone, train someone how to write well. You have to do it yourself. If you're able to write well, you're able to express well, communicate well with your students, there is, I cannot elaborate on what are the benefits that you get if you have strong written skills. Unfortunately, we don't give a lot of impetus on it when we are in school. We see it just a medium to write different papers and exams. Writing skills really reflect you, it depicts you. So that's another thing that please take away from here. I know you all are from different branches, so I don't want to tell you what you need to learn in nanotechnology or what you need to learn in Python and what you need to learn in artificial intelligence. I'm not here to talk about that. I want to give you a broad framework. I want to give you a framework how industry is evolving. I want to give you a framework how students are being expected to change. And if you have to respond to this change amongst the students and amongst the to cater to the industry, then you have to adopt some changes. The last bullet point out there is how do you manage multiple balls in the air? What it really means is that how can you do multiple things simultaneously? The only way that you can do is if you are organized and if you have planned yourself well. Have your plans, have your tasks, have your goals weekly, daily, quarterly, annually. If you do not have that, you will max out very soon. You will run out of bandwidth very soon. Only those people can do multiple things, those who are organized. Unfortunately, we do not teach our children in the schools how to be organized. So we didn't learn as a student. Since we didn't learn as a student, now it's so difficult for us to be organized. Focus on some of these skills. Focus on those skills that we talked about. We will go back there. But all revolution and automation, this AI revolution that we are talking about, is going to disrupt every 10 years. Do we have that mental stability? Do we have the emotional intelligence to reinvent ourselves every 10 years? As you age, it may take very difficult to reinvent. So these are some of my thoughts. I can go on. I thought that I will put together a broad perspective for you, how the industry is changing, how the five forces interact, and how they are going to define the education agenda in our country, and a few things that you should really ponder about, and the skills that your students need. And to develop those skills, what are the skills that you need to develop, that you need to think? These are some of my initial thoughts. I would love to take questions. I would love to speak to you about any feedback, any suggestions that you have. I think these were some of my slides. I may have gone a little fast, but I just thought that I'll give you a overview of this. But happy to take any questions or happy to walk you through any of the slides that you would like to talk to me about. Kishore sir, can you hear me? You're on mute, looks like.
Uh, Please stop your screen sharing.
Okay. Hold on. I'm just looking. I don't know why it is not allowing me to do that. Stop share. Yeah. Yes, sir. Has it stopped?
Yes, Savarkar sir, over to you.
Sir, Savarkar sir, please unmute your mic.
Yes, yes, yes. For some time I was not allowed to unmute. So thank you very much. It was a wonderful, informative session. If you permit, sir, we have some questions from the participants.
Please.
In some of the universities in India, they have adopted the practice while assigning electives to the final year students, third year final year students. They frame the syllabus as per the company requirement. Do you think, sir, it has to be implemented in most of the university, or is it a good practice?
I think it is a balancing act. I do not want you to be making your students prepared for one particular company's products or one particular company's services. But if the skills that are being imparted, right, is broad enough that those skills can be leveraged in all the companies in that industry, then it is fine. So I think it's a balancing act that you have to do. Do not get carried away that just because this is going to give student the first job, right? You train the student for that particular narrow skill. You all are temple of education, temple of skills, and you have to impart skills. Now those skills have to be aligned to the industry needs, but do not make it so specific that a student loses out on the other aspects. So
Right.
that's a balancing act.
Correct. Right. So I have one more question from participants. In USA or other developed countries, there is a practice that the technical institute or universities are sponsored and adopted by a group of industries. Do you think that this kind of practice can be adopted and in India also?
So as I had said in my 5 forces model, which I showed you, in that the industry. So the first thing I want to see in India is that industry should sponsor chairs, like professors in your college. That hey, this is the chair which is sponsored by this industry, and that chair is responsible for doing some research. In return, obviously, the industry will expect you to do some of the cutting edge work, innovation, be part of R&D. But absolutely that should happen, and I'm seeing that happening in IITs. I'm seeing already happening where industries have moved in. Now we have to see how it moves to NITs and how it moves to other colleges in the country, but it will definitely percolate as we move forward.
Sir, one or two question more.
Sure.
So, one of the participants have asked, what are the merits and demerits of conventional classroom teaching and or the online teaching? How you proceed? How you predict it?
I think I always say this, that we should not go from one extreme to the other extreme. So both has its merit, and we need to be converging at a common point. If I have to ask you, you need to think that 5 days in a class, 3 days I will do it in physical classroom, 2 days I will do it in online. Because what online brings is accessibility. Today you could access me. I cannot come to your class, but I can sit from London and talk to your students. What it brings is updation. I can give you the most updated knowledge, which it becomes very difficult for me. You can get a specialist online from anywhere in the world. So there are certain things which needs to be taught in the class, the entire class dynamics, the entire group dynamics that you learn in the class. So I'm not saying that virtual education can completely take over the physical in-classroom education. Think about what is a flipped classroom. So, Salman Khan, Khan Academy, not our Bollywood friend, but, there is this gentleman from MIT. He has created this whole Khan Academy. And he talks about this Flip Academy, where he says that what earlier you were teaching in the classroom, you were giving them notes, you were teaching them questions, giving them concepts. He says all that should be learned at home. And what students should be learning in classroom is they should be doing problems in front of the teacher so that the teacher can see how each person is solving the problem. Self-paced learning, differentiated learning, human time of a teacher, all that is possible if you incorporate physical classroom and digital classroom. It has to have both. So till now, you all have built beautiful infrastructures, beautiful buildings, which is great. Now see what all beautiful virtual infrastructure is out there. The good thing is that you can share a lot of virtual infrastructure. Physical infrastructure is very, very difficult to share. Somebody sitting in Delhi cannot share your physical infrastructure. But somebody who has created a virtual infrastructure in Washington, D.C., you can leverage it. So this is a moment of partnership. This is a moment of collaboration where leaders, university, faculty, management, all that needs to come together and see what components of our education needs to go in the classroom. What components of our education needs to go through the digital virtual learning? It's a great question.
And very one more, sir, very common questions from majority of the participants. From your point of view, what are the threats and opportunity post COVID? What you read it?
So I think let's look at the opportunities. Okay.
Yes.
The opportunities for India is immense, if you ask me. Um, in these 3 months or 4 months of lockdown, the customers have started realizing that work can be done remotely. And now they're saying that if work can be done remotely from home, then why do I need to pay so much? Why should it not be done from India? So those customers who thought that work cannot be done from home, now they are asking us that can you do it from India? So what it means is that there is going to be more work for people in India. So that is an opportunity, a big opportunity. Without getting into the politics of China and America, and I do see opportunities in the manufacturing space. But the real opportunity which lies is for psychologists. The opportunity lies for healthcare people. Because today, healthcare was again limited to who has access to the doctor, who has access to the nurse. Telemedicine used to be a very utopian thing. Today, all doctors are doing telemedicine. So a patient can access a doctor the same way that we are accessing an academician from anywhere. So these are the opportunities. The short-term threats that I do see is that there is going to be economic disruption. The GDP is going to shrink. If you look at the results of all IT companies in last 1 month that has been announced, invariably everyone has reduced in size. Their revenue has reduced. Now, if revenue reduces, it has impact. Then it also impacts people who are on the streets, the vendors, the street sellers, because for them, they do not know what to do because that marketplace doesn't exist. And everyone cannot be a seller on a digital marketplace. So I see challenges at different levels, but I do see more opportunities. But COVID is going to be way of life for some time. And we definitely need to plan in a long term as against think it as something that is going to get over in next 1 month or 2 months. This is going to be around. I'm not a healthcare specialist. I'm not a WHO expert, but I can tell you that this is going to be around. A good question.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Bokade, sir. Bokade, sir. Deshmukh, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sir, Rajeev sir has some assignments, immediate
Okay.
assignments.
Mhm.
So he would like to leave the meeting.
Okay.
So
Thank you
on
so much.
on behalf of the institute, sir, we are very much thankful to you for your accepting our invitations. Your talk was very, very informative, excellent informations you have shared with us, and you have suggested us what the faculty member is required to develop, which skills are required to develop. Those you expect to build among our students, and you have also talk about the difference between puzzle and mystery. What is the importance of writing feedback well in detail? So really, it was very much excellent, informative to all of us. Thank you very much, sir, from all of us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity to interact with you all. And very good questions. Happy to answer any questions if you all have, or if anyone has. I'm very active on social medias, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. If you have any questions, please reach out. I will definitely take out time to answer. Thank you very much, Honorable Principal, Vice Principal, and Kishore sir. Thanks a lot for.
Thank you.
And one more
Thank you, sir. It was
important.
great having you here.
Yes. Immediately after this, we will our validity function will be followed. Thank you, Raju sir.
Thank you,
For
sir.
coming.
Please excuse me. Actually, I have another session for organization which is in Mumbai. It is called Maina Speaks, and I have to give a small talk out there. So I have to get on that. So otherwise, I would have loved to continue with
Great.
this. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Great.
Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thanks a lot.
Savarkar sir, I think chief guest Dr. S.S. Mande sir has already joined the meeting.
Okay, good.
So,
Good afternoon, Mande sir.
Monday, sir, you are mute. You have, please unmute yourself. Good afternoon. Namaskar.
sir,
Unmute
your mic,
yourself, sir.
please unmute yourself. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I have unmuted.
yeah, it's fine now.
Now
It's
you're
fine now.
audible, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Good
Good
afternoon, all of you.
afternoon. How are you, sir?
Fine, fine, sir.
Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah, I do. After a long time.
Yeah. Nice.
So, should we start with our validatory function, sir? Principal, sir?
Yeah, I think you can start, sir. No problem. Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
where, sir, it is, you can continue.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. Respected Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. S.S. Mande, Member, Board of Studies, University of Mumbai, Professor and Head of Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Don Bosco Institute of Technology, Mumbai. Our beloved Principal, Dr. Sanjay U. Bokade, Vice Principal, Dr. Vice Principal and Convener of FDP, Dr. Sanjay D. Deshmukh, Convener, Professor Kishore G. Savarkar, Coordinator of FDP, Professor Surendra T. Sutar, Professor Arvind R. Sangre, Heads of all departments, teaching and non-teaching faculty members, enthusiastic participants, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It is a matter of immense pride to stand here before all of you this afternoon. On behalf of the institution, I, Satish R. Bhoyer, delighted to offer a gracious welcome to all of you on the 3 days FDP on academic transformation with secrets of empowerment valedictory function. Since last 3 days, we have been enlightened by esteemed speakers. They shared uttermost knowledge, their experience, and educate us with experiments. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sanjay D. Deshmukh, Vice Principal and Convener of FDP, to read out 3 days FDP report. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Dignitaries on this virtual dais, respected chief guest of this validatory function, Dr. S.S. Pandey, member Board of Studies, University of Mumbai, professor and head, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering Department, Don Bosco Institute of Technology, Mumbai. Respected principal of the institute, Dr. Sanjay Bokade, sir. Heads of all the department, my colleague and convener of the FDP, Professor K.G. Savarkar, coordinators, Professor Satish Bhoyer, Professor Surendra Sutar, Professor Arvind Sangre, entire organizing technical team, teaching and non-teaching staff of our institute, and dear participants. It is my pleasure to welcome you all for this validatory function of 3 days faculty development program on academic transformation with secrets of empowerment, which is organized by Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering of our institute. MCT is Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, Mumbai. We are very fortunate to have Professor Dr. S.S. Pandey, sir, a member of Board of Studies, University of Mumbai, and Professor and Head, Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, Don Bosco Institute of Technology, Mumbai, as a chief guest of validatory function. On behalf of Institute, Department, and organizing team, I express my gratitude and sincere thanks to Professor Dr. S.S. Pandey for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with his presence. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I thank you all for joining online on various platforms for this FDP. Friends, the education sector has undergone a major transformation in recent years. Recently, we have seen that as soon as COVID-19 crisis broke out in India, we have suspended our physical classrooms and we have to shift to online classes. As Rajeev sir mentioned during this session in the afternoon, about virtual learning gained importance in these few months due to this COVID-19 crisis. COVID-19 forced teachers, students, and parents to undertake teaching learning remotely on digital platforms like Zoom and Google Meet. We have seen that digital learning ecosystem supported by internet connectivity, smartphones, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence has bring increased efficiency in terms of online pedagogy. This is always, or there is always a need to know the various approaches or ideas that can help to deploy empowerment in education, which will help the faculties and the students to acquire the skills they need to succeed for ongoing professional and personal development. And that is the objective of 3 days faculty development program on academic transformation with secrets of empowerment, which is organized by Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering of our institute, Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, Mumbai. The objective of this FTP was to discuss various ideas or approaches deployed in the education system, which will contribute to innovation and entrepreneurship. It was, the objective was to create awareness on some cultural aspects from around the world that has contributed to the success. And we were very fortunate to have very eminent speakers from India and abroad for this FDP. It was a great opportunity for all of us to attend and learn from their experiences and skills. On 23rd, that is on first day of this FDP, 23rd July, respected Sri Nitin Singhne sir, who is an industry partner of Edison, New Jersey, US, he delivered the talk on secrets for success in innovation and entrepreneurship as observed from USA. Sir has worked in US, Canada, Germany, Japan, Vietnam, Dubai, and traveled to more than 25 countries as a part of his work. He discussed his experiences about some cultural aspects around the world that has contributed to the success of that country. He addressed the participants about aspects of education like experiential learning, holistic learning approaches, and the culture that led to innovation and entrepreneurship in USA. On second day, that is on 24th of July, Professor Dr. Chaitanya Agrawal, who is a professor of computer science, Makhanlal Chaturvedi National Institute of Journalism, he delivered the talk on the topic Secrets of Self-Empowerment Through Creative Visualization. He emphasized that creative visualization is a mental technique that uses the imagination, mental images, the power of thoughts, and the law of attraction to make dreams and goals come true. He stated that if it is used in right direction or in right way, creative visualization can provide us success in achieving goals. Today, we were very fortunate to have with us respected Sri Rajeev Kumar sir. He is a Chief Customer Officer at Appirino Industry Corporation, London, UK. Sir has enlightened us on the topic changing role of academia in new world. We discussed today about the 5 forces of engineering education: the students, curriculum, the institute, industry, and faculty. He mentioned that every company is now or today technology company. So the student and faculties should learn cross branch specializations. He mentioned that a virtual campus is must nowadays. He also mentioned that industry will look for academia to contribute. He stated that the professional skills that faculty must adopt in changing scenario. He mentioned about that. I, on behalf of Institute, will like to offer my sincere thanks to eminent speakers for accepting our invitation for the function and to enlighten us on various topics. We are also very thankful to the participants from various engineering and technological institutes across the country for their overwhelming response. They joined on various platforms for this online FDP, such as Zoom meetings and YouTube streaming. All the sessions were very informative. The participants learn about ideas and best practices, which will help to deploy empowerment in education to meet various challenges further. I hope it was a great learning experience for all of you. We express our gratitude and acknowledgement for the solid support received from everyone during this process. I once again thank you all. Thank you so much. Over to you, Burj.
Thank you, Deshmukh sir. Thank you very much. I take the pleasure of requesting our respected principal, Dr. Sanjay U. Bokade sir, to address the gathering. Over to you, Bokade sir.
Yeah, thank you, Boyer sir. Chief guest of today's function, Dr. Sudhakar Mande. our Vice Principal, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh, all the heads of department, all the faculty members, the staff, the students, everyone joining us in this Zoom room, as well as joining us on this YouTube streaming. Let me first of all congratulate the EXTC, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh, and the EXTC department, his complete team, who hosted this 3 days faculty development program with this wonderful topic. I congratulate all of you for this successful program. And I truly believe that there was a very good learning. The deliberations were excellent. And I think it gave a wonderful takeaway to all the participants. Now, when I came across, when it was proposed and it was told that the topic of this faculty development program is academic transformation and the empowerment. So this was something which was which really made me very happy about, because somewhere in my mind I was also thinking over the same lines that it is a time now to really look at serious transformation. Of course, not due to any kind of the present crisis, present difficulties out of this COVID outbreak, but in general, I was thinking about the need of this transformation. And while thinking over this whole topic in my introspection, I thought, let us have one more time understanding about what academics is, understanding about what transformation is, and understanding about what empowerment is. So while I was looking at these terms and once again try to realize what they really mean. So it was as simple as that academics is something, as in terms of activities which normally takes place in a school or a college. They are the routine activities of any such places. So if they are the routine activities, they are where there are certain mandatory things or there are certain traditional procedures, then what sort of transformation is quite possible there? That was one thing which came to my mind. Then while thinking about transformation, I went into further thinking over it in the same introspection that do we mean something as a small shift of what presently is there, or are we thinking about some change from what we are now, or are we going to have such a huge change that will be a complete transformation? Because shift is nothing like transformation, I believe, and change is something which is always subjected to change. But in transformation, I believe, is that once you get transformed, then you do not have any opportunity to go back and set yourself again on those older concepts. So if transformation is required, and it is required in terms of about the academics, then what are all those dimensions I was looking at? Does academic transformation means only the transformation which is related with your curriculum, or is it only the transformation which is related to your teaching learning process? Or then who all are involved into this transformation? Is it only the faculty, or is it only the faculty and the student, or is it only the faculty and the student and all sorts of stakeholder, or does it also include your infrastructure, your human resource, and every single thing of it? So I think this academics and its transformation is quite a holistic topic, a holistic aspect. All our speakers spoke wonderfully on it and gave us wonderful inputs which we can actually implement and really see some significant amount of transformation. While we try to transform ourselves, we try to move from one traditional way to some another, there is a natural tendency that people or those who are involved in it exhibit some kind of rigidity. Rigidity in the sense that they are little resistant on giving up on their earlier beliefs or earlier methodologies. because they always believe that this is something best, this is something best because it was proven to be the best. But there is always a scope of improvement on whatever you do. And you go on exploring the scope of improvement. And when you catch that scope of improvement in its real sense, you implement it and you find a newer dimension added to what you otherwise used to do. Now, when you do, again you keep a scope of improvement over it also. Now, there are plenty of dimensions, and I think that there are plenty of responsibilities which are been put on the head of the teacher, on the head of the faculty. Because I think when I come across such talks, I always see that there are a lot of expectations that goes with the faculty. Now, faculty should upgrade. Now, faculty should update. Faculty should learn this. Faculty should learn that. Faculty should do this. Faculty should tell the students in this way. And there are tremendous amount of responsibilities which are put on the faculty, on a teacher. But I don't say that it is wrong. I believe that it is put on the head of the teacher, believing that teacher is a capable entity to do it. Since teacher is that personality which can handle so much of responsibility, that is the reason why it has been put on a teacher's head. Otherwise, if you see the difference between a teaching professional or an industry professional, an industry professional is one who is more concerned with his what? With his productivity and with his product. So his product is very typical product. He's going to make a car. He's only bothered about a car. But when it comes to education, when it comes to faculty, when it comes to academics, then what is looked by the academics is that in where there is productivity looked for an industry professional, it is that is the education which is looked from that particular teacher. So education within itself is a huge aspect which covers every single thing of the life. And it is not then the product which is the output of an industry. In academics, it is the student which we see in the form of a product, but this product goes along with a lot of outcomes with it. So invariably, your process of teaching, learning, or your process of deliveries are going to give a lot of outcomes. And since there are enormous amount of outcomes, that is the reason why there are enormous amount of responsibilities which are put on the head of the teacher. Otherwise, an industry professional is just bothered about a product to be made, improved in its quality, and there are processes, there are machines, there are many of the things which helps in doing it. However, for a faculty, it is quite a challenging thing, which I feel, because he deals with those brains which are in the formative stage. So it's so much of this whole thing when it is expected that teachers should keep on updating, and that's true. It's a fact. And our speaker was answering to so many questions, and there were so many questions which were asked to him. But then I saw the chat box, and I saw one of the question which was unattended, means which was not raised there. And I truly believe that it is a question of very high importance. It was raised by one of the participants, and what he says that it is still there. Respected sir, how to unlearn the learned things. How to unlearn learned things, because the speaker also referred this whole thing. And this is one of the things which has really influenced me also when I come across this this whole quote which was given by Alvin Toffler, an American, that he says that the 21st century's illiterate is the one who does not know how to learn, then to unlearn, and then to relearn. So we have to understand one thing: this unlearn is not something which you have to take it in its literal sense, where something you relate to it is that there is a programming done and you can deprogram it. You can remove the program. You can just remove it from the hard disk of your computer. So unlearning is not that kind of concept which is to be taken. Unlearning is the one where you are actually realizing that what was been traditionally used by me, what was been the traditional methods, seems to be now not effective, seems to be now having not so much significant use, or they seems to be outdated, or they seems to be ineffective on this state. When you believe this, That is what is unlearning, that you have made your mind to say bye to them. That is unlearning. It is as simple as that. Now, sometimes you come across in your life where you had faced such a situation which was not so much soothing to you, which you never liked, and you want to forget it. Now, when people say to you, you forget that thing, how do you forget it, sir? Is there any methodology to forget it? No, it's not method. There's no any technique or methodology to forget it, because it is stored permanently in your brain. It's not hard disk of a computer where you can erase it, you can format it. But this is what is there in your mind, and unlearning says that you accept that this is ineffective, this is useless now, this is outdated now, and now go on learning the new, which will make this thing fader and fader day by day. So that is what is unlearning, and then again relearning. So learn, unlearn, and relearn is one of the success mantras of today. So take it in this way, that you accept to what the methods of today are getting ineffective, and let us welcome and shake hands with the new upcoming one. So that is unlearning, and then that is relearning. So that is all about what I wanted to say to all of you. I once again congratulate all the organizers, Dr. S.D. Deshmukh and all his team, for taking this wonderful program. So thank you so much. Over to you, sir. You may please continue with your program.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now I would like to invite participants to give valuable feedback about this FDP. I think Dr. Sunil Wankhede would like to share his view about FDP. So I welcome him on this dais. Over to you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Sunil Wankhede, Professor in Information Technology at Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, Mumbai. First of all, I am thankful to conveners of this faculty development program, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh and Professor Kishore Savarkar, and the whole organizing team for giving me the opportunity to speak about this FDP. First of all, I would like to congratulate the whole Electronics and Telecommunication Department for successful organization of 3 days faculty development program on academic transformation with secrets of empowerment. I really appreciate the insights that was provided by all the eminent speakers during these 3 days. I found this FDP very well interesting as expected, because the topic was very new and innovative. I really enjoyed and learned many new things from this faculty development program. The topics were very relevant to all of us. That topics were not that much technical, but it is very relevant to all of us. And the speakers of this FDP, all these 3 days, were very excellent. On day one, the session was on secrets of success in innovation and entrepreneurship, as observed from USA. And it was delivered by eminent speaker Mr. Nitin Shingne, New Jersey, US. So he has very well explained about the understanding the education system and its contribution to innovation and entrepreneurship. He has shared his observations and experiences, what he got during his work in different countries like Japan, Germany, and US. He gave us many examples and said that you must be passionate about what you are trying to achieve. On day two, session was on secrets of self-empowerment through creative visualization, and that was delivered by Dr. Chaitanya Agrawal. In his speech, he explained about how creative visualization has the power to change your beliefs, and also explained with examples the creative visualization is the art of using mental imagery and emotional support to produce positive changes in your life. And he said many successful people use these visualization techniques to visualize their desired outcomes for ages. Today's session again was very informative and conducted by Mr. Rajeev Kumar. He's from London, UK. on the topic changing role of academia in the new world. He mostly focused on 5 forces of engineering education, that is student, curriculum, industry, faculty, and institute, which is going to shape engineering education in future in India and abroad. He has advised to all the teachers to think about the research that need to see beyond the teaching. So I can say overall, this faculty development program was very nicely organized, and definitely it will help useful to all the participants to think and work. Uh, Thank you all once again for inviting me and giving me a chance to speak about on this FDP. Thank you once again. Thank you all. Have a safe and healthy time. Over to host.
Thank you, Ankad sir, for your valuable feedback. We have another participant, Dr. Poonam Sonar. Ma'am, please share your feedback and give suggestions, if any.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you, sir, for giving me a chance to share my feedback on this 3D FDP on academic transformation with secrets of empowerment. First of all, I would like to thank our HOD, Vice Principal Dr. S.D. Deshmukh sir, and his entire organizing team for conducting such an excellent FDP with the innovative theme, which is very essential and needed in current pandemic situation. Secondly, in this FDP, we all are very fortunate to have eminent and experienced speakers from academia and industry from India and also from the outside the India. In this FDP, in this FDP, we are very in this FDP we are realized that traditional methods of teaching learning must have a significant paradigm shift for academic transformation through innovation and entrepreneurship, experimental and holistic learning, encouraging early job startup and exploration to the different fields. Many new ideas and the techniques are discussed in depth in this 3D FDP. Also in the today's session, as the Rajeev sir, he has explored and he has discussed the impact of the 5 forces on the engineering education, and that really very helpful for our traditional teaching learning method transformation into the effective transformation, so that we can confidently stand on the virtual campus as well. One important thing I want to happily note here, that in this FDP, we are not only discuss the technological ideas or the technological themes, but also we are learn and got the concept about the spiritual thinking, of the spiritual thinking, through that how we can stabilize our mind, how we can make ourselves stress free through the creative visualization, and how it is playing an important role in the self power empowerment. We have discussed, rather I will say, we have discussed a key or a success mantra to make our life more successful through the mind programming with the divine life force, which results in a positive energy amplification to feel more secure and enhance our confidence, enhance our skill set, immunity, harmony in personal as well as professional life, and which is a really essential in a today's pandemic situation, today's critical situation of the global crisis. So different methodology, different ideas are shared in different sessions, which are all very useful, so that we can teach our subjects with by acquiring different professional skills, by relearning, by continuous learning, and by focusing on the most emerging technologies which are having a very good impact on the today's industrial today's industry and the technology and the academics. So even though the our FDP was for the 3 days, and we had the 3 speaker, but we feel that we got a technological tour across the globe. In the first day itself, we got that feeling that sir has discussed, the Nitin Shingani sir has discussed the impact the skill and the power of the three global countries like US, Germany, and the Japan. So, what are their skill set? What are their positive points so that they are sustaining in the world and as a global countries? So really, the FDP was a informative knowledge sharing, and we have taken a wonderful takeaway from this 3-day FDP. And I congratulate to the entire organizing team for the successful conduction of the such an innovative FDP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful feedback. Nothing great will be achieved without great men, and men are only great if they are determined to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to have with us Dr. S.S. Mande as a chief guest for today's valedictory ceremony. May I kindly request Dr. S.S. Mande to share a few words on this occasion. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Boyd, sir. Honorable Principal of Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, Dr. Sanjay Bokhade, sir. Vice Principal and Head of Electronics and Telecommunication Department, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh, sir. Convener of this FDP, Professor K.G. Savarkar, sir. Organizing Committee of this FDP, Professor Surendra Sutar, Professor Satish Bhoir, Professor Arvind Sangle, faculty members, participants, students, as well as a team which is working behind this FDP, and they are helping us to reach out the larger audience. Good afternoon to one and all. First of all, I'm very thankful for giving me opportunity to be a part of your FDP. I got a flavor of FDP because I joined Rajeev Kumar sir's today's session, and I got to know that what has happened in this FDP. And also, I congratulate Electronics and Telecommunication Department of Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology, and for organizing such a very insightful and very relevant faculty development program, which is not only relevant in today's scenario or today's situation, but it is very important from academic perspective. It is about academic transformation. And I thought that all of you might be feeling that there were 3 speakers because Professor Sanjay Deshmukh has given the overview or summarized the FDP. But today, when I heard to Dr. Sanjay Bokhade, sir, so he has also given very insightful messages on academic transformation. I think that academic transformation is very important. The reason is that it's about the society. Academic institutes basically a reflection of societies. What is happening in society that is coming from academic institutions. If you want to bring change in society, then definitely there has to be transformation in academic institutes, because all the professionals in society are coming from academic institutes only. Doctors, lawyers, teachers, IPS officers, IAS officers, definitely they have attended some academic institutions. That's the reason they are doing good work in this society. As Bokhade sir, as well as other speakers might have taken the help of, or they might have quoted that Alvin Toffler's famous quote, that is learn, unlearn, and relearn. I think that this topic was picked up on same line, that all the participants might have got what is meant by learning, what is meant by unlearning, and what is relearning. Basically, academic transformation means we need to keep ourselves ready to face any challenge. If challenge is known to us, definitely we will prepare ourselves. But when challenge is not known, then also we need to prepare ourselves to overcome that challenge. And I think that to some extent, all of us are successful, because if somebody would have thought in month of January that we have to do some online lecturing or we have to conduct such online FDPs, and person who is sitting in USA can participate in FDP without coming to India. So we would not have thought about this, but it has become possible. Why? Because this pandemic has taught us. And this is some kind of the transformation in our thinking process also. Because earlier, we were not able to think even that such things might be possible, but that pandemic has taught us to think and transform and make it a reality. I think that academic transformation, as that Alvin Toffler's quote, it is a transformation of illiteracy to literacy. So here I don't mean that literacy is just read and write like Alvin Toffler. It's about whatever is not known to us, to know those things and use it for improvement in academic quality and to make this better society. Because finally, what I feel is society is a reflection of academics, and therefore Rajiv Gandhi Institute has conducted this FDP and given you opportunity to know about how to bring out the academic transformations. So I think that you might have got very good takeaways, but just don't keep those takeaways with you, because progress or development of any individual organization or any institute will happen through individual empowerment. So definitely whatever you are taken from this FDP, you need to implement in your real life. First, you empower yourself, and definitely you empower your academic institutes or organization wherever you are working. And by that way, just you bring out the changes in this society. With this, I wish you all the best. And once again, I congratulate EXCT department, Rajiv Gandhi Institutes. I have been a very frequent visitor of this institute, and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be part of this FDP. And when I heard to Rajiv Kumar's lecture today, I thought that I have really missed the opportunity to attend entire FDP. So I think that this might be the feeling of each and every participant, that definitely they are enlightened by all the speakers, and definitely they will bring some transformation in self as well as organization. Thank you very much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mande sir. Your words were full of enthusiasm and valuable knowledge. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Every celebration is an experience. The external fades away and the internal remains, and the echoes in the most depth of our hearts. We are reminded that events like this one are milestones on the journey of life and reminders of God's fidelity all through. As we come to the close of our valedictory ceremony, I invite Professor Surendra Sutar, coordinator of FDP, to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, Sutar sir.
Thank you, Satish sir. Thank you, Satish sir. I wish a very good afternoon to the honorable chief guest for today's session, Dr. S.S. Mande sir, beloved principal Dr. Sanjay Bokade sir, vice principal, head of the department, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh sir, head of the departments of various departments, faculty members, non-teaching staff of RGIT, and dear participant. It's my privilege to have been asked to prepare a vote of thanks, to propose a vote of thanks on this valedictory function. On behalf of Rajiv Gandhi Institute of Technology and Department of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, I would like to thank today's chief guest for valedictory function, Dr. S.S. Mande sir, for taking his precious time out for gracing this event. I would like to thank our today's eminent speaker, Shri Rajeev Kumar sir, for taking his precious time and consenting to the today's speaker. Sir, indeed, your words would have been inspired our participants. I would like to thank our distinguished speakers, Shri Nitin Shingne sir and Professor Dr. Chaitanya Agarwal sir, for making an excellent presentation and making this event a very meaningful and interesting. I also thank our management for providing us this platform to organize online FDP. I also wish to express my gratitude to our Honorable Principal Dr. Sanjay Bokade sir for providing encouragement and support. I am also thankful to our beloved Vice Principal and Head of the Department, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh sir, for guiding us throughout this 3 days faculty development program. I am also thankful to our convener of this FDP and our own Kishore Savarkar sir for his guidance and moral support. I also extend my sincere thanks to all head of the departments for their direct and indirect support in organizing this event. I'm also thankful to all the faculty members and non-teaching staffs of our own EXTC department and institute. I express my sincere thanks to all participants for their active participation in this event. Without your support and encouragement, our success wouldn't have been possible. As no program can become successful with a single person. So I extend my big thanks to our organizing team, Satish Boyer sir and Arvind Sangle sir. I especially thank the people who have been the backbone of the event, our technical team, Ankush Utke sir, Priyanka Bilare madam, Piyush Dave sir, Nazar Balur madam, Shashank Gothankar sir, Madhura Mukashi madam, Kajal Vartak madam, Dilip Boite sir and Rudesh Ingre sir. There is a small announcement. Dear participant, you will receive your participation certificate on your registered email ID in 3 to 4 days. And now I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा